I've been in a lot of explosions. I was wondering why you look so frightfully scarred.
Come on, dear, let's get out of here.
No.
Come on, Sonny, please now.
Beloved as Auntie Em in The Wizard of Oz, Clara Blandick portrayed the perfect picture of motherly warmth and Midwest values. Her gentle demeanor and kind face made her Hollywood's go-to actress for sweet maternal roles throughout the 1930s and 40s. But behind that wholesome image lurked a calculating woman who used manipulation and cruelty to maintain control over those around her. On set, Blandick was known for her vicious treatment of child actors. During the filming of The Wizard of Oz, she would deliberately sabotage young Julie Garland's scenes by whispering cutting remarks just before the cameras rolled. Multiple crew members reported seeing her pinch child extras when directors weren't looking, causing them to cry between takes. She would then comfort them in front of others, crafting an image of being their protector while in fact being their tormentor. Her own family wasn't spared from her machinations. Blandick systematically isolated her husband from his friends and family through a campaign of subtle manipulation. She would intercept his mail, make excuses for his absence at family gatherings, and spread rumors about his mental state until he became completely dependent on her. When she finally tired of him, she engineered a public scandal that ruined his reputation and career, leaving him destitute while she continued to flourish in Hollywood. Perhaps most disturbing was her treatment of her elderly mother. When the aging woman became an inconvenience to Blandick's social life, she arranged for her mother to be committed to a mental institution, using her Hollywood connections to falsify medical records. She then spread stories about her mother's unfortunate condition to generate sympathy for herself while privately gloating about her freedom from familial obligations. Barbara Stanwyck, the Queen of Noir, brought her dark side off-screen in ways that would make even her most sinister characters blush. While the public adored her tough girl persona, Hollywood insiders knew a far more calculating figure who wielded power through an intricate web of blackmail and manipulation. During the 1930s, Stanwyck cultivated a network of informants among studio staff, from makeup artists to janitors, paying them to gather compromising information about her colleagues. She kept detailed files on everyone from fellow actors to producers, methodically documenting their secrets, affairs, and vulnerabilities. These weren't just idle gossip collections, they were ammunition. Her manipulation of the studio system was legendary. She would befriend up-and-coming actresses, positioning herself as a mentor while simultaneously gathering their secrets. When these younger stars began to threaten her position, she would strategically leak their personal information to gossip columnists or studio heads. Several promising careers were destroyed by her machinations, including rising star Mary Castle, whose contract with Columbia Pictures mysteriously disappeared after she landed a role Stanwyck had wanted. Her most calculated move came during the filming of Double Indemnity. Stanwyck learned that her co-star Fred MacMurray was being considered for several prestigious roles she wanted for her own projects. She began a whisper campaign suggesting he was too difficult to work with and unprofessional. The rumors gained such traction that MacMurray's career took years to recover, while Stanwyck's stars continued to rise.
A woman young, beautiful like you can get anything she wants in the world because you have power over men. But you must use men, not let them use you. You must be a master, not a slave.
But perhaps her most sinister scheme involved her own adopted son. When Tony became a teenager and started asking questions about his biological parents, Stanwyck feared he might discover that she had manipulated the adoption process through dubious means. She orchestrated a campaign to discredit him, suggesting to friends and family that he was mentally unstable. When he threatened to go public with his suspicions, she used her studio connections to have him blacklisted from every major newspaper and magazine in Hollywood. Her personal assistant of 15 years, Sarah Miller, mysteriously disappeared after threatening to write a tell-all book about Stanwyck's methods. While no foul play was ever proven, Miller's manuscript vanished along with her, and Stanwyck was overheard saying, "Some people need to learn when to keep their mouths shut, permanently." Jeanette Loff, the seemingly angelic soprano of early talkies, orchestrated some of Hollywood's most devious schemes during her short but notorious career. While audiences were captivated by her innocent look and melodious voice, behind the scenes she was perfecting the art of exploitation and blackmail. Her technique was remarkably sophisticated for someone who presented such a wholesome image. She would carefully select wealthy married men, often studio executives or prominent Los Angeles businessmen, and orchestrate chance meetings at exclusive social gatherings. Using her screen persona as a shield, she would appear naive and vulnerable, drawing them into compromising situations that she secretly documented through an elaborate system of hired photographers and private investigators. The scale of her operation became apparent only after her death, when investigators discovered a hidden vault in her Hollywood Hills home. Inside were hundreds of photographs, letters, and recordings, each meticulously catalogued with dates, names, and amounts paid for silence. Several prominent Los Angeles families quietly purchased entire folders of evidence to protect their legacies. Her scheming extended far beyond simple blackmail. Loff would deliberately sabotage other actresses' screen tests by tampering with lighting equipment or spreading rumors about their reliability. She once arranged for a rival actress to receive the wrong script pages before an important audition, ensuring the other woman would appear unprepared and unprofessional. The role, unsurprisingly, went to Loff instead. Perhaps her most calculating move involved the mysterious fire at Paramount's costume department in 1932. Just days before a major production was set to begin, the department's entire collection of period costumes was destroyed. The lead actress, unable to continue without a proper wardrobe, was forced to withdraw. Loff, who had coincidentally preserved similar costumes from her previous films, stepped in to save the production. Years later, a former security guard confessed that he had been paid handsomely by Loff to accidentally leave a lit cigarette in the department. Her personal life was equally manipulative. She maintained multiple residences under different names, each serving as a setting for various schemes. One apartment was dedicated solely to entertaining potential blackmail targets, complete with hidden cameras and microphones. Another served as a meeting place for her network of informants, who kept her updated on potential victims and rival actresses' movements. The full extent of her operations might never have come to light if not for a disgruntled former associate who, after Loff's death, attempted to sell a collection of her private journals to a newspaper. The journals detailed not only her past schemes, but also planned operations targeting some of Hollywood's biggest names. Studio executives, fearing the scandal that would erupt if the journals became public, reportedly paid millions to suppress their contents. Thelma Todd's reputation as Hollywood's charming hostess masked one of the industry's most sophisticated criminal enterprises. While her sidewalk cafe drew the cream of Hollywood society, few knew they were walking into an elaborate trap designed to separate them from their money and dignity. The restaurant's legitimate business served as a perfect front for her true operations. While the main dining room hosted Hollywood's elite, the private room upstairs housed high-stakes gambling operations, where Todd and her associates would systematically cheat wealthy patrons out of substantial sums. Using marked cards, weighted dice, and a team of sophisticated con artists posing as fellow guests, she orchestrated countless evenings that left Los Angeles' wealthiest citizens significantly poorer. Her network of corruption extended deep into local law enforcement. Several police officers were on her payroll, ensuring that any complaints about her establishment were conveniently lost or dismissed. She maintained detailed records of their involvement, adding another layer to her blackmail arsenal. One police captain who threatened to investigate found himself quickly transferred to a remote desert precinct after Todd revealed evidence of his involvement in several fixed boxing matches. The cafe's sophisticated surveillance system was years ahead of its time. Hidden microphones in the private dining rooms captured countless indiscreet conversations between politicians, studio executives, and crime figures. Todd kept these recordings in a private safe, using them to ensure continued patronage and silence those who might threaten her operations. Her most audacious scheme involved a series of fixed poker games in 1934. She invited several prominent studio executives to what they believed were friendly gambling sessions. Unknown to them, Todd had installed a complex mirror system that allowed her associates to see their cards. Over a 6-month period, she extracted over $2 million in today's money from these rigged games. When one executive threatened to expose her, she countered with photographs of him in compromising positions with underage actresses. The private rooms above the cafe also served as meeting places for various criminal enterprises. Todd would rent these spaces to gangsters and racketeers, taking a percentage of their illegal dealings while gathering evidence of their activities. This information became another tool in her extensive blackmail collection, allowing her to manipulate both the criminal underworld and the legitimate business community. Even her own staff members weren't safe from her schemes. She would encourage them to steal small amounts from the register, documenting each theft. When she needed someone to take the fall for larger crimes, she would threaten to expose their petty thefts unless they cooperated. Several former employees served prison terms for crimes they didn't commit, protecting Todd's larger operation. Frances Farmer's descent into Hollywood's underworld revealed a mastermind who orchestrated one of the industry's most elaborate insurance fraud schemes. While the public remembers her for her supposed mental health struggles, few knew of the calculating mind behind her apparently erratic behavior. Her infamous episodes on movie sets were carefully planned performances designed to build a public narrative of instability. She would deliberately sabotage productions, causing expensive delays and accidents that triggered massive insurance payouts. Through a network of corrupt doctors and lawyers, she had arranged to receive a percentage of each claim, all while maintaining her image as a troubled starlet. The scale of her operation became apparent only after a thorough investigation of her estate. Documents revealed that she had orchestrated over 30 accidents on various film sets between 1936 and 1942. These incidents ranged from elaborate equipment malfunctions to carefully timed on-set injuries. Each event was meticulously planned to appear accidental while maximizing insurance payments. Her most profitable scheme involved the notorious fire at Universal Studios in 1937. While officially ruled an accident, evidence suggested that Farmer had arranged for an electrical malfunction that destroyed an entire soundstage. The resulting insurance payout was one of the largest in Hollywood history at the time. Through her connections, she managed to secure a significant portion of the settlement through various shell companies. She maintained a sophisticated network of collaborators across multiple studios. Set designers would create seemingly safe but actually hazardous props. Electricians would tamper with lighting equipment at her signal. Even stunt coordinators were paid to orchestrate unexpected accidents that would shut down production for weeks. Each incident was carefully documented to appear legitimate while generating maximum insurance benefits. The supposed mental breakdowns that led her to be institutionalized were equally calculated. When investigators began closing in on her operation, she orchestrated her own commitment to a mental institution. This not only provided an alibi for her previous behavior, but also generated sympathy from the public and industry alike. The investigation was quietly dropped as attention shifted to her tragic story. Her private correspondence, discovered years later, revealed the true extent of her deception. Letters to various conspirators detailed profit-sharing arrangements, plans for future accidents, and strategies to maintain her cover story. She had even arranged for certain documents to be released after her death, ensuring that her reputation as a troubled actress would overshadow any investigation into her criminal enterprises.